What's up? What's up, y'all? It is Dear Future Husband on for another week, okay? I am Bree, your host. I am your favorite attorney by day and your hostess with the mostest every Thursday night. And we are here again for another week. What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for coming on. I missed y'all last week. I missed talking to y'all last week. Like live and in living color, right? So, thank y'all for joining. Hey, everybody. Hey. So this week we are talking about matching pajamas. You know how I do it, Kim. You know how I do it. This week we talk about matching pajamas, y'all. Okay? Because at one point in my life, I said I ain't finna be doing no matchy with nobody. And now that I am the ripe age of 42, yes, I want to match all the things, y'all. All the things. And so, what you talking about, Keisha? No, you didn't. I didn't want to match with anybody, but I'm gonna match now. I want somebody I can match with now. On vacation, pajamas, Christmas pictures, birthdays. I mean, do they match for birthdays? I want the his and hers t-shirts that they make. You know what I'm saying? Christmas. Did I say Christmas? All the things. Valentine's. We just gonna match for the rest of our lives. Kim says she finally got with the trend, just ordered some. What'd you order, Kim? You ordered some t-shirts or you ordered some pajamas? Because I need to know, and I need to know what site, because I'm gonna have the pajamas, and I guess I'm gonna get the man at some point. I don't know. I'll work on that order, the order of things. So today our guest is Misha. Misha is the owner and founder of Coco Twins, and she's gonna get into that a little bit later. But for now, let me bring Misha on. Y'all know I struggle with this every week. I don't know why, but I'll be on the struggle bus. Hold on, let me see if I can get on. Mimi said all of that. Yeah, Mimi, all of that. Pajama bottoms, and I'm making the shirts. Right, and we're going to drink hot cocoa with the mini marshmallows in it. It's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. Hey, Misha.
Hey, how are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
I am hanging in there. And having a really good night, actually.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you?
Well, my day has been a complete dumpster fire. It's been a disaster.
Oh, no.
A
Oh,
disaster. You hear
no.
me?
Oh,
And I am
no.
fresh from the urgent care, the children's urgent care. So there's that. In case you want to
I
know how
hope.
my day was going.
Is your daughter okay?
She's fine. A classmate jumped on her hand. Her hands were on the floor, and a
Ooh.
classmate jumped on her hands, and so I thought maybe it could have been broken or even fractured. So I took her, but she's fine. She just has a bruised bone and a little splint, and
Okay.
and she's fine. But it's been a long night, so yeah. But I'm here, right?
All right.
Um,
All right.
and so, but we're gonna get into this. We're not gonna let
Okay.
that. Hold on, let me put the. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let me put the volume up on this. Hey, everybody! Thank y'all for joining.
Oh, here.
Right, I'm back. Okay, so Misha, we're gonna jump into this because I want to talk about these pajamas. I want to know where you ordered the pajamas from. I need to take notes on the pajama gate. Okay, that's what we're gonna call it,
Okay.
pajama gate. And
Okay.
so, so did you guys start off with the matchy? How did this morph into what it is now, baby? Tell me.
It just happened. It wasn't even planned. It was just one day because I go to Target to get them. Last year I did design a T-shirt.
Okay.
This year I didn't have time to do it because of the whole AI art and moving the business and everything.
Okay.
So I went to Target and I got some at Target. And of course I got them with me. So of course, yes, we are matching. So this one says Black Joy every season, and it's actually at Target.
That's at
So
Target?
I got them.
Okay, Target.
Yes.
Come through. Okay.
Yes, so I got them for everybody, even the daughter's boyfriend, everybody.
Welcome, sir, to the family. And so when do y'all do this? Is this Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, all December? Like, what are we talking about?
Christmas Eve, right before we open up one gift before we go to bed on Christmas Eve.
And then y'all take pictures and all that?
Mm-hmm.
And how the
Yeah.
hubby, how's he feeling about it? Does he willingly jump into his pajamas or is it a fight? No.
It's not a fight. He just does it. I mean, he doesn't fight it anymore. He doesn't get excited about it. It's just what he does. It's just like lay them out, and you know how you lay your clothes out at night, or you know you going somewhere and you got your sweater laid out nice, you got the sleeve laid over like this. I just lay them out, the leg kicked up, and he's just like, I guess this is what I got to do. Yes, 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 it is what you do. So the twins are 15 now, and they'll come running out in their pajamas and slide across the floor, and then of course I'm in there doing this, and then our Ebony Joy, she'll come in and she'll mock me, and then we'll start doing our gangster poses or whatever, and he's just sitting there like,
this is your family, sir. This is your this yours.
This is what you asked for. This is what you got.
Okay. I love it. And I think it just says something again, like I was telling everybody, and Kim says that Target has been Team Black culture lately. I mean, I haven't been in Target like that, because I didn't know they was on the bandwagon. I appreciate them though.
I do too.
Those are cute.
Thank you.
At first, I told everybody I was like, I didn't even want us to wear the same colors when we, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we had the same, right. I was like, I don't want to do all that. I ain't doing it. No, I've changed my whole mind, my spirit, my heart.
The whole situation.
Changed, baby. And I am here for the pajama gate. And I'm saying not just Christmas, boo. I mean, we gotta have, they got the cute little t-shirts now that, you know what I'm saying? Says, she's my sweet potato is what he's wearing. And then and then her shirt says, I am. What?
So that's what I need. That's what I need. That's what I need. But we team Coco Twins. So everything that he wears, it just says Coco Twins across it. And then I'll have the Ava image.
Hey, Ava. I see Ava back there. Hey, girl. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm on. That is what I like that, Misha. That's what I'm on. So, okay. Let's start from the beginning. Okay. How long y'all been together?
God, dog it. Since 95.
Oh.
Since 95. Yes, and the funny thing is that we met each other in Japan. And when we met each other in Japan, different situations, new to the Marine Corps, because we met in the Marine Corps, new to the Marine Corps. So we were doing our own thing. We're young, ain't nobody paying. We met in 94, ain't nobody paying no attention to nobody. And then we ended up, he left Japan to go to a duty station. We didn't keep in touch. I left Japan to go to a duty station. Told you we didn't keep in touch. So I get to my duty station, and this is before everything is automated. So I go to my duty station. They're like, "You're not a guy," because people tend to shorten my name. So it's Jamisha. So they'll just say James. Okay. So when I got to the duty station, I was like, "No, you." So I had to get switched right away because I was on base and didn't have anywhere to go. So when they gave me my orders, I'm riding around. This is before cell phones. I told you, we got together in 95. So I'm riding around looking for a payphone. We don't do this no more. Looking for a payphone to call me. And it's pitch black dark outside. So I pull up to the payphone. I told you, we didn't know where each other went. Who do you think the very first person I ran into was him? So we dapped each other up. We're like, yo, what's up? And then we ended up going separate ways because I got the information that I needed. And when I showed up to my office, he was sitting right there.
Oh.
So we've just been, met in Japan, didn't follow each other, ended up very first person outside of talking to a liaison that I ran into on base, and then to be working across from him. And we've just been together like that.
Ever since. Oh, I love it. So it's 20 plus years at this point. Y'all have 3 kids?
4. So
4 kids.
He came with my bonus baby. She was prepackaged, ready to love. So he came with her. And then we had Ebony, and then we had fertility issues, actually, where we ended up having issues between having Ebony and the twins. So there's a 9-year difference between Ebony and the twins. Okay. Right? So, so it's 4 of them.
It's 4 of them.
4 girls.
And I know to get to 20 plus years, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people, this ain't gonna be easy. It's not
Mm-mm.
easy, right?
Mm-mm.
But it's something that not listen, okay? I'm assuming because I haven't been married 20 plus years, so I'm assuming it's something that you gotta decide to work on every single day. Like you have to choose him, and he has to choose you on a regular basis to make this work.
I'm gonna back that up a little bit.
Going
You
on,
gotta choose you first,
okay?
right? So you get into a relationship, and people think when I say I do, it's gonna undo things, and it doesn't. Things
Okay.
don't change. People, when you get into a relationship with someone, they bring in everything
Yeah.
that's just who they are. And the one thing that I tell my daughter now, because she's an adult, is see how a person acts when they get angry. Can you
Mhm.
deal with that? Don't
Mhm.
come to me talking about, oh, our relationship is so good and we ain't get, I don't want to hear none of that. I want to hear how you guys deal with each other when, you get upset
Right.
over
Conflict
things.
resolution. Yeah.
Right, right. And what I learned about myself through the conflict, the issues with conflict, is that I brought in a lot of issues into our relationship. So I
Okay.
came into the relationship being conditioned to believe that men didn't have feelings, to believe that men didn't stay in the family, to believe that men were just. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and when I say Detroit, Michigan, I grew up in the late 70s and the 80s and the 90s. And if anybody has ever watched any of the 8 Mile, that's my truth. I can't go into
Okay.
detail. Can't go
Okay.
into detail.
Okay.
But that's the type of thing that I grew up in. And to see, people acting that way and
Mhm.
being in the midst of whew, of everything, and then going into the military and meeting him, you know, even though he grew up in Michigan, it was in Pontiac, Michigan. I think Pontiac is closed now. Michigan is doing a lot of, but he grew up in Pontiac, Michigan.
Mhm.
I grew up in the hood. So, and he grew up with both parents. His
Okay.
parents, before his mother passed, his parents have been together since 16 and 18 years old. And his mother just passed away 3 years ago.
Oh
And
wow.
his mom and dad have been together for that long. So having that type of experience for him, and me coming in being, all gritty and raw from, experiencing the things I experienced, we clashed a lot. And then on top of that, being Marines, being both the oldest children, both being Tauruses, we just clashed with each other. And what I learned from being in that space is that I had a lot of growing to do,
Okay.
because I thought when you would get into a conflict with someone, that it means leave. That's just it. There's no conversation that needs to be had. It's just done. It's over with. That's just it. And being with him, he taught me differently. He said, Mish, listen, just because we have an argument doesn't mean we got to split up. I'm
Right.
like, why not? You tripping. I don't want you. No, I don't
Right.
want you to, but I had to learn. And then I have really, really, really good role models. And anybody that's watching, my father-in-law, Melvin Bazemore, he's a big time person. He's my coach and mentor in marriage.
Okay.
So I call him dad, and he basically adopted me because my own father chose to walk away, and we're not going to even talk about how he's still paying child support for me, and I'm almost 50. But
Okay.
anyway, yeah, so he took me under his wing, and he just talked to me. He's like, listen, Jamisha, we're going to have to, get things squared away, get it together, so that way you can understand that, just because there's conflict, just because there's issues, doesn't mean that it's time to fight, doesn't mean that it's time to run away.
Run away.
It
Yeah.
doesn't mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. So the issues that I was having with in our relationship weren't even about him. It was about my mother and my father, because
Mhm.
I have complicated relationships with both of them,
Mhm.
because when I say hood, I mean hood. So
Okay.
I have complicated relationships with both of them. So I'm thinking that that's just how people are, and
Uh-huh.
I had to learn over time that it wasn't. So even though now 20, what are we in, 22 years later, we have a better relationship than we've ever had before, and it wasn't because he undid the things he used to do. It's I did the work for me, and I had to learn that, or I learned that maybe 5 years ago. So it's been like really recent that
Okay.
I've learned that. And yeah, so anybody that talks to me about relationships and want to know how do you make it work, It starts with you, not with the other person.
I like that. I like that. So
Yeah.
choosing you every day to do
Mm-hmm.
the work, to become, to evolve, because we've talked about that before, right?
Mm-hmm.
This evolution that you are supposed to be going through,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so choosing you every day so that you can evolve individually and as a couple, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like
Exactly.
that.
Because
I like that.
you gotta work on you so that way you can present the best version of yourself.
Of yourself. I like that. And we do like, and I've told everybody that because I'm dating still at 42, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not, I've had to tell some of my friends who got married at like 20 something, 23, that it's a whole different ballgame at 23. Yet you didn't, it was most of the people that I know at 23 didn't have as much baggage as most of the people that I know at 42, right? And so they did, not the people I know, they
I
weren't
know.
coming, with houses and children and, at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now at 42, when I'm dealing with these men and they're dealing with me, I mean, truth be told, we both coming with, with
And it's
baggage,
not
right?
just baggage, it's just a different understanding of the world because you have different responsibilities and you have a different
Right,
mindset. So of
right.
course, we got married when we were super young, so we were, still we weren't jaded by life. I'll just put
Mm-hmm,
it to you like that. So
mm-hmm.
because things happen along the way, and it could cause you to feel a certain type of way about different things. And I could just imagine the things that I brought into the relationship if I hadn't gotten married young. If I would have gotten married I would have been horrible. If I would have gotten married
Okay,
young,
don't
I would have
listen.
been,
I
I
can
would have
hear
been
you. I can
horrible.
I can hear you.
I would have been horrible. But I always say that I didn't know, but God knew that He was what I needed in
Yeah.
order to become the person I am today. So for me, it's more than love because love has conditions on it. Love is you know for me is appreciation. I have a lot of appreciation for him and I am very grateful for him. And to be honest with you, the people that taught me how to love are my twins
Mm.
because they with them they're 15 now, but they're able to just watching how when I was in my 20s I couldn't see this with my oldest child, but with being older and having the twins, watching how they love even in spite of whatever is incredible to me. I'm like it just doesn't make any difference to them what you know it, as long as they're being respected and cared for, they're just like that's just what they do, and then we'll figure it out, we'll work it out. Just as long as things don't continue to be the way that they are, we'll be okay. So watching them love him and love me, I'm just like I got to get my stuff together because what they're doing, it just
Mhm.
looks beautiful. It
It's
looks so
pure.
calm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so I started to do the work on just rewinding things back a little bit so that way we didn't have the attachment. Because a lot of people will think love, they get attachment confused with love. So I had to walk that back and find
Mhm.
appreciation and gratitude for what we have because I know it's a gift. I know it's beyond human comprehension to be truthful with the things that we've experienced in our relationship. A lot of people would have just broken, and his mother. I used to talk to his mother about relationships, and every time I would say something, she would be like, "You'll be surprised, Jamisha. You'll be surprised by what relationships can stand against." And just watching his dad and his mom um, just survive things, and that's just something that's in his family. Like all of his siblings, all of us have been married 15 years plus. All of us,
That's cool.
all
That's
of us.
super cool. Yeah. I
Yep.
like that. Okay, so hold on. Let's go to some of these comments. Daria says, "Yes, I love the way you said that. You said something that touched her spirit, Misha." Joseph said, "Communication skills and relationships are key. They really are."
But you know what?
Um,
People always think it's communication skills with other people when people don't even want to sit with themselves. Can you talk to
can
yourself?
you talk to?
What is
Yeah,
what is your conversation like with yourself? What is that
yeah,
inside voice like with yourself? If the inside voice is super critical of you, you're gonna be it's gonna flow outward. That's
right.
how you're gonna present yourself to people, that's how you're going to teach people how to treat you. So when you come very aggressive and very critical, that's what you're going to attract.
Right.
So.
And so what I have noticed with that communication skills is, you know, I'm out here in this dating world, and I meet men that tell me straight up, communication is key. Communication, you know, conflict resolution is everything. Like, they'll spit it, right? They'll tell you, and it sounds nice until it's time to communicate.
They
And
don't
then
know
it's
how.
time to communicate, and it's like you running, you know, and it's like, well, I thought you said, you know, and so no, you're right. It's about, number one, like you said, how you communicate, how are you delivering the message, how are you coming off, right?
Right, right, right.
And then
But the
also,
communication, I'm sorry, we said we weren't going to do that.
no, go do it. Go ahead.
But the communication too, a lot of people think that communication just has to be verbal. It doesn't have to be a verbal conversation. For me, I'm a better speaker than I am a writer. He's a better writer than he is a speaker.
Okay.
So I'll speak how I feel. He'll reply by writing. And it took a while to be able to accept that. And well, it took a while first to learn that that's what works best for us. Then it took time to accept that that's what we needed to do, because we've been conditioned in this world to believe that people have to always verbally say what it is they're feeling on their heart, when not everybody has that ability to do that. And it doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make them uneducated. It just makes them them. That's just how they communicate. And I think a lot of people just don't know how to accept. He's laughing now. I told him to keep it down. A lot of people don't know how to just, just to accept people as they are. And
they are.
Yeah, and another one of my mentors, she's actually 98, his grandmother, but I call her my grandmother. She told me I'm her favorite.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm married into the family, and she does checks on my heart, and she doesn't think I pick up on it. She'll ask me questions, and then she'll close her eyes and just shake her head. I'm like, oh, she's checking on my heart. She's trying to see where I am. So when I told her, she had brought something up about our past, and she was like, how you guys doing? And I told her, and she was like, you do know you didn't marry Jesus, right? I said, yeah, Grandma, no, I didn't marry Jesus. She said, that's just, he's family. You guys are family. At the end of the day, you're family. And I told him, if anything ever happened where we're not together, I'm going to be one of those women that's just going to be his friend. And I'm going to make him, and not on purpose, but I think I would be one of those people that would make it difficult for, because I just have an appreciation for him. But I do understand that life does take turns. Mm-hmm. But having an appreciation and a gratitude for him, I think it goes above all the BS in this world. And it just makes everything okay, even when it's not okay. So
yeah. I love it. Y'all are goals. Hashtag goals. Kim says, whoop, whoop, Detroit. Yeah, Detroit. Mimi says same. I had no conflict resolution skills until much later. I don't think we really develop real conflict resolution skills until later on in life.
Yeah, you gotta be battle tested. You gotta be put in the field. You
gotta
be put in the field because you get trained. You get your training. Sometimes training isn't so good.
Right.
A lot of us have things that we've learned, that we have a lot of things that were downloaded into us as children, and we need to clear our cache. A lot of us are CACHE. A lot of us are still carrying old data that needs to be dumped. And then we can go into a better relationship with ourselves and a better relationship with the partner that we choose to be with.
And I agree with that. And I can definitely say that my conflict resolution skills have evolved from when I was younger to now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was wilding back then, and now I'm like, let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya. I don't want to fight, right? And I don't if I'm okay with a discussion. I'm okay with a disagreement. I'm not okay with it being an ugly, drag out, nasty, words being hurled at each other that shouldn't be type of fight. You know what I'm saying? Where we're disrespectful and I'm not okay with that. I don't want that,
You don't want the primal fight, the
I
primal,
don't. No, not anymore.
we gonna take this to what we feeling inside of each other, and then just go off. And the thing with conflict resolution for us, with us both being Marines, the whole idea with conflict resolution was battle. So when you say you were wilding out, just add a component of being literally battle tested, and both holding rank in the military. So you both thinking that, each other, one knows better than the other one, and nobody's backing down. You're both the older child, and you're both Tauruses. So you're just constantly just going at each other. And then we just had to just learn to just stop going at each other, and just bring it down a little bit, and just relax a little bit. And it's so, and the one thing, because I have abandonment issues, his thing was to walk away when things would get upset. I couldn't take that. It made me spiral. It made me spiral into sweating, into tears, hyperventilating, and everything. And what I learned, because I've been through so much therapy, what I learned in therapy is the issue with him walking away was how he was taught to deal with issues. It was healthy what he did. The way I was dealing with it was I was battling, the little girl in me was battling my father. The little girl, it wasn't battling him. I wasn't even there at that moment. I had regressed all the way back to being 8, 9 years old. And it was very, you could see it in my conversation. You could see it in how, my body reacted to things. So, it's it's a lot when you're coming into a relationship trying to be something you didn't get the blueprint for. Just basically having to create the I'm construct engineer too by trade, having to create the engineering blueprint, the construction plans, and just build it as you go, and then take it apart and build it again, and take it apart and build it again. But the truth to the whole situation is that's just a relationship, because the person you end up with in the beginning is not the person you end up with years later.
And I'm so glad you said that about abandonment issues, because I have abandonment issues. You know what I'm saying? No, that's a thing. Like, the whole, feeling like you just, like you turned your back and you're walking away.
Like, exactly.
Like that, is no bueno.
And then having kids, right? So you're like, if he abandons me, I mean, you just spiral. If he abandons me, then he's going to abandon the kids, and the kids are going to go through what I went through. So now I have to become hyper vigilant to protect. And it's a mess. It's a mess. And what I learned through therapy is when people choose to walk away from their children without explanation, just totally just abandon them, it just leaves a hole in their heart that never really gets filled. You'll always be that person with that memory. But what I've learned how to do is to just accept it as it is, to remove the value, the negative value from it. Just, I don't like that it happened to me, but it did. I can't take it back. And just like I told you, I have this 98-year-old mentor. She asked me, she says, so what do you want? You want your parents to reparent you? I was like, God, dog it. Oh. I was like, I said, I will pass on that. She said, so what are you going to do? Don't answer me. Just, what are you going to do? You have
that puts it into perspective. I mean, it puts it into perspective.
Yep. So everything that the things that I went through with them, it made our relationship in the beginning complicated, and it also made my ability to mother complicated. But over time, and with having, and I always tell people too that family doesn't always look like the people you were born into.
Right. That's sure. Right.
Right. So the way that I reconciled the issue with the abandonment with my father was looking at it as him making space for the people God wanted me to be with.
Absolutely.
So he did exactly what God told him to do, what he was supposed to do.
Right.
And whenever I think about it, whenever, those feelings do come up in me, I'll think about it and I'll go, job well done. You did exactly what you were supposed to do in order for me to break the generational cycle of abuse, of abandonment. of so many things, so that way I could be present in my life and be open to
Yeah.
being loved, and
Yeah.
to understand that I'm worthy of the love. And even
Right.
if somebody decided to walk away, it doesn't make me less than. And
There
that's
you go.
something that I experienced growing up. I felt like my thing would be, why doesn't anybody love me?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. And what I learned through therapy, it was a part of the abandonment.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that that you're out here telling people that you go to therapy, went to therapy, um, and that it's okay,
It's
right? I
okay.
mean, it's
It's
okay
okay.
to
It's
go
okay.
to therapy. Matter of fact, I I push everybody to go to therapy.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a good
Um,
thing, because we tend to lean into our own understanding of things.
mhm,
And when we take the time to talk to people, they can help us see things differently. And
mhm.
I grew up in the type of family, we don't tell people our business
Your
outside
business,
in the
yeah,
street.
yeah,
And it's like, but that's my experience, and I want to be a better version of myself. It's not me trying to be disrespectful. It's not me
right,
trying to hurt you. It's not
right.
me trying to tell people your
Your
business.
business,
It's me telling my business. This is my experience with you.
mhm,
That's if you want the story to be different, then change it. And but when just some people, they'll always be who they are. So I've
right,
learned how to just accept who they are and adjust myself, because my spirit won't allow me to um uh deal with negativity. It just won't allow, especially being a coach. I cannot
mhm,
be a mindset coach and be
mhm,
constantly going through the turmoil without
right,
having some type of support system. I just talked to my therapist Monday. I talked to her because I emailed her an SOS, because I have debilitating anxiety, and a lot of people don't know. People in my group know this, but a lot of people don't know this about me. And the thing with anxiety is that it could be unprovoked. So you can go into an anxiety attack unprovoked, just sitting there typing on your computer, and then just panic just comes over your body.
mhm,
And then then worst case scenarios, just a lot of stuff just comes over your body. And with my body, me growing up the way that I grew up, it's stuck in the fight or flight. I have to literally tell myself, Misha, check in with your body. Are your shoulders up to your ears? Is your
mhm.
forehead scrunched up?
Your jaws
Is
clenched
your
up,
jaw
yeah,
tight?
yeah,
Is your, and then I can feel it in my body too,
just
when I start
yeah,
to feel
yeah,
right. So I'll go to the gym. I'll do a lot of stretches. I'll drink a lot of water. That's because if you don't, your body can, stress has a way of making you sick. It just does. And one time my body was so tense that I ended up with a pinched nerve and ended up in the ER.
wow,
Yeah. So yeah. So
okay,
I have to literally check in with myself, because my nervous system is has was just the constant fighting growing
mhm,
up, and the constant having
mhm,
to look over my shoulder at 8 and 9 years old, just a lot of stuff. And now being an adult, and a lot of that stuff still living in my body, I have to be very mindful with what I consume, through
mhm,
hearing, through
mhm,
environment, and then check in with my body to see how it's making me feel. And if
mhm.
it's causing me some type of anxiety, or if it's causing me to it triggering my fight or flight, I have to excuse myself.
Okay,
So my family, they understand that now, because
okay.
the one thing I can't do is play. I can play spades, but I can't play spades because of the aggressiveness with the spades. so so I can't do that. So when they do start playing cards, I literally have to put my headphones on, and I like being
Mhm.
around people, but I can't I can't do aggression, because
Are
if
you
I
an
do,
empath?
yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
I can feel,
Yeah.
the energy
Yeah.
in room, and
I pick up on that.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm an
Yeah.
empath as well. And I also have anxiety. Not debilitating, but I have so
Yeah.
everything that you're saying, I'm like, is she? Because I pick up on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
Mimi says you gotta do the self work. You sure do. And therapy is part of the self work. You know, recognizing that okay, like you said, I'm in this. Okay, I do that fight or flight immediately without thought. You know what I'm saying? Immediately go to fight or flight. And it is something that you have to be like, okay, is it that deep? Is it that is it that serious? What are you doing? You know? Because yeah, that's a whole nother that's a whole nother show. Daria says there isn't a problem with communication. It's comprehension. You know, it's both. It's both of them. From my personal experience, it's both of them. You know what I'm saying? It's either not communicating effectively, and then your delivery being such that it's hard to even comprehend what you're saying because your delivery is raggedy. You know, that's what I've. Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna throw a third thing in there. It's also language. We don't speak the same language.
Yeah.
So it's not that I can't comprehend what you're saying, and it's not that I can't communicate with you. It's literally we speak in two different languages. We're not even connecting. The conversation isn't even connecting because how I grew up, the words you're using mean something very different to me than they mean to you. Yeah. So it's just the just different ways of the language.
The language. I like that. I like that. Mimi says, yes, you got to do what works for you. Keisha says, that's definitely me. I can communicate verbally, written. You can. I think she's saying she can communicate written. She communicates better written. And I like that. I like that y'all figured out that, okay, I'll say it and you write it. And everybody's okay with receiving it differently than how they give it. Does that make sense? Like you're okay with receiving it written and he's okay with receiving it verbally. And y'all figured that out. I like that.
Yep.
That's my brother putting up all them Panama flags. Hey, bro, little bro. Mimi says therapy helped so much, changed my life. I think, you know, and we don't talk about that enough in our communities, right? About therapy. And I think, like you said, it's not a stain on you, right? I think even if you think there's nothing wrong, you may even be, you know what I'm saying, be able to receive something from therapy. And so
pushing your feelings down and pretending you're okay is not a sign of strength. It's actually a sign of weakness. Vulnerability is a sign of strength.
It's a sign of strength. Absolutely.
And the thing is that we all practice vulnerability every day of our life. If you love someone, and this is the thing this is how I trigger my people I mentor into being present. If you love someone, you're practicing vulnerability. You're practicing vulnerability because you are going to lose them. You're either going to lose them to life or you're going to lose them to death. There's no way around it. People are going to leave. So you practice vulnerability and it's a sign of strength. We do it every single day, but then we'll turn around and say something like, I have to pretend or I have to have control of something so I don't lose it. No, don't having control, it's a perception. It's not even real. You don't have control over anything. You have to be like, you just have to go with the flow, go with the, you know, God is water. You have to go with the flow of things. When things come up and they're hard to deal with, instead of looking at them as failures, look at them as opportunities to learn something new. There's, you know, even when I coach people, I try to switch their mindset around with failures to get excited about failures because failures teach you stuff about yourself.
It's a lesson.
And it helps you to elevate into being a higher version of yourself. But a lot of people will put themselves down when they make a mistake. If you make a mistake, if you learn from that mistake, then use that mistake as a way to help yourself and to help another person. Because you may be experiencing what you're experiencing, not for yourself, but for somebody else. So, you know, it's just,
no, and you're absolutely right. And also realize that the people who have made it to where you're aspiring to make it have failed countless amount of times.
Failed beautifully. Because the thing too, in the military, I told you I grew up in Detroit. So this is what I mean by failure, being beautiful. I failed the rifle range in the Marine Corps by a couple of points. Ended up leaving as a sharpshooter, but failed when I first went through there. If I hadn't failed, I wouldn't have met my husband. I wouldn't be the person I am now. It was a beautiful failure. Did it hurt back then? Absolutely. It hurt, especially with the way they talked. But at the end of the day, not only did I, I was gifted with him, but I also was able to um, um, get rid of a lot of fears that came behind dealing with weapons, because I grew up in Detroit. So every time I would hear, a gunshot, I would do this, or, instead of, I would jerk the trigger or whatever. But now I have control and I know how to breathe. So one of the funny things about me is to help me relax. I actually like to go to the gun range because I can't do anything but focus on my breath.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful failure that helped me to get to where I am right now. So I always go back to that. I always go back to what that felt like to fail boot camp, Marine Corps boot camp at that. And to be able to, just experience everything I experienced, and then to end up where I am now, I'm just like, I'm thankful for
For the
every
failures.
single failure that I experienced. And I can't be thankful and have gratitude for all the gifts that I have without being grateful for the failures as well.
Absolutely. And I love the way that you say it. I've always told people, listen, I know I failed. I've failed counting. I failed more times than I can count, on a lot of different things. But those, like you said, those failures make me who I am today, right?
Absolutely.
Those failures make me a savage out here. Like, I'm not afraid to fall flat on my face. But then that also means that means I'm more willing to go out there and try something else new, right? Because I'm not afraid of failure. Whereas people get stuck and won't try anything new because they're afraid of failure.
Yeah, and that failure makes you a gift to other people.
Yeah.
Because if you hadn't failed, you actually fail up.
There you go.
Your failures actually have you where you are at this very moment.
Right. Daria says, I've gotten sick from stress. We hold so much tension in our bodies without realizing. We really do. Every time I see something on Facebook, it's a meme that I see maybe once or twice a year, and it's just saying, "Hey, relax your shoulders, remove your tongue from the top of your roof of your mouth."
And you see that's mine. That I send that out at least. I send it out at least once every 2 to 3. One or two, because I'm like relax your forehead, unclench your jaw, release your belly, put your shoulders down, and when people, and just take a deep breath, and when you take a deep breath, breathe in through your nose and blow out through your mouth, and just do that a couple of times, and then go back to whatever it was you were doing before. You have to check in with your body, because being on the go, constantly being on the go, it's exhausting.
It is.
And we wonder why we're so exhausted over the weekend. It's not always about work. Sometimes we're just so tense, that we don't even recognize we're in a day. How many times have you been driving a car and ended up at home and wondered how you got there?
Right.
We're just so tense. We're so in our heads that we can't even be present with the gift of our presence.
What's going on? Right. Yeah. Mr. Lee said, I fell too, but we get up. Absolutely, Mr. Lee. Thank you for joining us, sir. And so no, that's listen, we don't went into life, therapy, all kind of things. But let's get back on track with relationship, right? So you guys have been 20 plus, married 20 plus years. You have 4 beautiful children. And for those of us on the other side, right? Like if you were talking to you 20 plus years ago, what advice would you give you?
I never wanted to have children.
Okay.
So I would tell myself, get over that.
Okay.
Because they're a gift. They're
right.
I mean, truly a gift to experience life as a mother. It's It's incredible. It's
It's a
incredible.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
What would you say about what would you tell relationship you about, getting into relationships, about what you would learn throughout this journey with your husband now? What advice would you give?
Be easy on yourself, Mish. Be easy on yourself because you did experience a lot of trauma. Be easy on yourself because I beat myself down. I beat myself down something ridiculous because of the trauma. And the trauma, it doesn't just come with feeling bad about what you went through. It also comes with guilt. It comes with feeling like some of the stuff was your fault. But what I had to learn how to do through therapy is anything that happened before the age of 18, I had to take myself off the hook for that because I didn't
Mhm.
know. I didn't know. I was following somebody else's lead. I did not know. And when I did that, it helped to relieve a lot of the pressure and the pain I had on myself because we'll think, what if I did this instead of this? It's like,
Mhm.
sweetheart, you didn't know. You were under 18 years old. Everything to you was primal. You didn't have the ability to think things through the way
Right.
that you have
Right.
now. So that's one of the things that I always tell the people that I coach, be easy on yourself. And I think that would just be like the main message that I would give to myself. Be easy on yourself.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I absolutely, I I I was so happy when you were willing to do the show. Um, and this is like before I actually scheduled you to, for this one here, because the way, just the love that and it's just through posts, child. That's it. Like I see your post, but the way that you word it and the love that radiates from the post about your family, about your husband,
Mm-hmm,
I was like, I want to give the people these gems because we
mm-hmm,
don't see that a lot. We don't
mm-hmm,
see a whole bunch of positivity. We don't see a whole bunch of long lasting marriages,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and so it was definitely something that I wanted to highlight on this show and
Yeah,
just talk about how you even get to 20 plus years, for somebody who's never been married. 20 plus years is like, wow, like,
yeah. 20
you
plus
know?
years. Uh, 20 plus years. Yeah, I wouldn't have. I've never because I've never seen it. This
Okay.
is like the only time I've seen it in a healthy way. I've never experienced it growing up. Never. And to be where I am right now with him, it's 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 incredible. And to just be to come from where I came from, and to be here, it's just like it's possible, but you have to do the work for yourself. Just like I said in the beginning, saying I do does not undo the things that you think is wrong with the other person. You have to really check yourself. You have to check your ego. You have to check how you present yourself. You have to check how you talk to yourself. It takes a lot to get the 20 plus years and actually like the person that you're with, to actually have respect for the person that you're with, because by no means is he perfect. By no means am I perfect. But at the end of the day, the one thing that we do have that we go back to all the time is that we have respect for each other. And not just respect as husband and wife, but simply because of the fact that we exist in this space and time. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. Because at the end of the day, life in itself is a gift. And instead of beating it up and abusing it, we choose to just embrace everything that comes along with it. And then at 5 o'clock in the morning, we laugh at it. We just like, did you see this? Did you see that? And we're just like, yeah, I did. And he's just like, yeah, I did too. And then, we're both Marines. So just an interesting conversation that we'll have. And then we'll just laugh about it and go on about, our day. And then we don't have the situation where we have attachment issues. So we can go about our day without having to, where are you at? What are you doing? Just at I don't care where you are. I know you respect me. I know you're going to respect our relationship. I know you're going to respect yourself. I trust that you're going to do what you're supposed to do, so that way we can be okay. The only thing I ask is that you get home. That is it. So we don't need to check in with each other all the time to see where the other person is, where they're going. And it took a long time to get to this point as well. But I feel like the gratitude, the appreciation, and the respect helped us to humble ourselves and understand that, this isn't one life, two lives sharing an experience. And he's allowing me to share his journey. I'm allowing him to share my journey. And we're creating memories together. And one of the beautiful things, too, about being with somebody for as long as I've been with them is that we have so many memories together. So having experienced his parents when they were my age, right? And then now them being the age that they are now. And when we're all sitting together, the stories that we tell. And I'm like, I was there. I saw that, and knowing like his, I think we've been together the longest out of everybody. So being there and watching, families change, watching, situations and just the consistency of us just still being together and just watching that. It's absolutely incredible to just, he's a friend, and to have a friend as long as I've had with him, with the way that we've had it, and we've seen each other at our worst. And we're like, you know what? I still love you. I still appreciate you. I still respect you. I get it. Things happened in the past, but we had to experience those things. We had to be those people in order to be the people we are today.
I absolutely love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Misha. Listen, other than being a love whisperer, please tell everybody else also what you do. Y'all follow her. I don't know if it's below. I don't know, but her tag, her Instagram name should be on there. So make sure y'all follow her. Misha, where else can they find you, and what are you up to?
All right, so Misha Bazemore. I go by Misha Bazemore and Coco Twins. So Coco Twins is a digital art store that I created in 2016 because my twins wanted school supplies with art on it that looked like them. I don't know what your experience was like growing up, but there weren't many brown anything growing up, right? So me having the gift of art, being able to draw, they were like, Mommy, can you just do it? And I'm like, absolutely. And so what I ended up doing was I got back into drawing because they asked me to do it. And I ended up drawing an image like what you see back here, training engineers and architects on how to use software called AutoCAD to show them that anything that can be measured can be drawn, which is the face. Then that grew into me offering commercial licenses for other people to use my art to help them build their brand. And then from there, I ended up teaching classes to help people monetize their art. And I have a couple of businesses, I call them gold friends, that have reached the six-figure mark in their businesses just simply using their creativity and using the art that I design. And then from there, I've minted and sold NFTs. So I'm actually on it, on the blockchain. And I am in AI art. And with the AI art, within 2 months, I've made $40,000 just making AI art. And with the AI art, a lot of people get upset about the artificially, what is it called? Artificial intelligence generated art. So it's generated by keywords. So a lot of people feel like it's taking something away from artists, but being someone that is born from a family of artists, my grandfather used to draw murals on the buildings in Detroit, and some of them still are standing now. And so it's just a generation of artists. And the one thing that I've learned is that you learn how to adapt in the space that you're in. And actually studying art and studying art history, what we're experiencing now with AI art is history repeating itself, because artists back then feared photos. they didn't consider photography a form of art back then.
Okay.
So
Okay.
right now we're just experiencing that again. So I'm working with my goal friends to help them create their own art as well. So you don't have to know how to draw in order to be able to create art. So and I love it. And I love you for getting me, being the helping me secure the contract with Cricut, because I
Yeah.
am a Cricut contributor, a Canva contributor, Creative Fabrica contributor, a whole bunch of places, illustrating it, and or sharing my illustrations. But the thing that I love the most is that all of this hasn't evolved into coaching, where I got my certifications as a life coach, a business coach, and a what is it called? Creative arts coach. So working with women who look like me, who have shared experiences like me, helping to shift their mindsets away from, feeling like they're not enough into feeling like they're more than enough, and
Yes.
learning how to hear the voice of their higher self, and understanding
Yes.
that alignment in anything that you do is key. Um, to be in alignment with something is quiet. It whispers to you. Your ego is loud and chaotic. What your higher self, it will whisper and it will walk away.
Oh, I
And
love.
learning how to trust that is key in being able to have a better life experience. And a lot of stuff that I learned too, because I told you my background is in engineering. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
the stuff that I learned with getting degrees, with engineering, being in the workforce, a lot of the stuff that we're conditioned to believe about those spaces isn't even true. You don't need to do a lot of things in these spaces in order to be successful. And I make more money now working for myself drawing than I ever did as an engineer.
I love that. I love that. I love that
Yep.
story. But I've always loved your story. Because I mean we've been following each other, or friends or
For a
whatever,
long
for a
time. Yeah,
while.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I saw all of that. You know what I'm saying? As you
Mhm.
become, started at the, from the beginning all the way to now, and I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Before we go, y'all make sure y'all follow her, okay, on Instagram, on Facebook. And what are those handles again one more time, Misha?
Cocoa Twins. So it'll be Cocoa, Cocoa, like the powder.
Mm-hmm.
Cocoa, Twins.
Okay.
Um, on Instagram is Cocoa Dash Twins. On Facebook is Cocoa Twins. On TikTok is the real Cocoa Twins. The name is actually trademarked, so
Okay.
that's why I put the real Cocoa Twins on
Mm-hmm.
there. Pinterest, Cocoa Twins. Website is Cocoa Twins. Etsy is
Everything is
Cocoa Twins. Everything is Cocoa Twins.
everything is Coco Twins.
Everything
Okay.
is Cocoa Twins. Yeah.
And make sure y'all also follow me. It's _lawyer. Make sure I put my YouTube link on the bottom. Make sure y'all click that link, y'all, and y'all subscribe to my YouTube. Okay. Real quick, I don't want to miss any comments. So real quick, Daria says, thank you for the reminder about failing. Absolutely. Everybody needs that reminder, because people think that everybody just out here just with all these wins and no fail, no losses, no L's. And there's been plenty of L's held, at least by me. I can't speak for nobody else, but by me for sure. You know. Um, Tim says, beautifully stated, off and on since '94 here, so I get everything you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Stephanie says, I love the art pieces in the back.
Thank you.
Um, so follow her so you can. Do you sell the art pieces like that?
No, my nephew, he
Okay.
put this together for me. I sell
Okay.
the digital art, but I do allow people to use my digital art to create physical pieces like this that they could take out and sell.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, if they wanted to create art and
Their
sell
own.
it and frame it,
And she
absolutely.
teaches y'all how to do that, y'all. So if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
interested in that, definitely follow her.
Yep, I'm actually
Okay.
teaching classes. What is it? Adobe Fresco, Adobe Fresco, Adobe Capture, and Procreate. Teaching people who don't know how to draw. I mean, absolutely, just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even proficient at drawing stick figures. I've taken people from that space
Mm-hmm.
into actually creating their own coloring pages. So, and I do have I have an online school. It's on Teachable, and it is filled with classes, subscriptions. It's so much information on there, teaching people how to create their own AI art, and even talking about copyright protecting it. It's just a lot of information that I've picked up along the way, and
Yeah.
because the information is in such abundance, I can't hold it to myself. So I
Right.
do share it with people, because I want you guys to see things differently,
Yeah.
to come out of that conditioning that you were placed into, to clear your cache. I want you to clear your cache.
Yay. Wow. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on. You have been
Thank
absolutely
you.
amazing, and you
Thank you.
dropped gems just like I thought you would. So
Thank
this has been
you.
very, very insightful. And so I appreciate you for taking time out to be on Dear Future Husband.
Thank
And
you.
you're welcome. And I appreciate everybody else for tuning in
Yes,
and
thank
rocking with us all
you.
hour. Yes,
Yep,
yes, yes.
thank you.
Thank y'all for constantly showing love. And so I will see you guys next week, okay? All right. Bye.
Bye.